Hello everyone, welcome to my channel all about literature. In this video, we are going to talk about Vikram Seth, and another Indian writer. Vikram Seth is an Indian poet, novelist, travel writer, children's writer, biographer, and memoirist. Vikram Seth was born on 20th June 1952 in Calcutta, West Bengal, India. And by profession, Vikram Seth is a novelist and poet, and he's an Indian by nationality. And Vikram Seth has also traveled in many countries like Britain, US, India, and China. And being a member of an academia who originally hails from the third world and are later settled in the West, Seth's poem deals with the nostalgia, a longing for home, and a renewed interest and understanding for the new life in the new world. In each of Seth's novels, and in which much of his poetry, there have been a central and peripheral gay themes and character, and he also raises question about his sexual identity and the role that sexual politics plays in his work. He has also won several awards such as Padma Shri, Sahitya Academy Award, Pravasi Bharatiya Samman, and W. H. Smith Literary Award and Crossword Book Award. Seth's collection of poetry, such as Mappings and Beastly Tales, are notable contribution to the Indian language poetry canon. As Vikram said, he belongs to the diasporic literature, and he also belongs to the third world and wrote about diasporic theme and the shifting identity. And most of his work deals with the theme of the theme of diaspora, theme of loneliness, theme of love, theme of longing in the text of Vikram Seth, and he also wrote a travelogue about his journey from as he traveled from different countries like Britain, US, and China. So all his journey he has described his journey in a book and known as travelogue. And Vikram Seth's first book of poem was also known as Mapping, originally published by the Writer's Workshop, Calcutta, and the Writer's Workshop. And P. Lal was the founder of the Writer Workshop, and the Mapping is the first poetry collection of Vikram Seth. And later on, he has came into prominence with his next collection of poems entitled as The Humble Administrator's Garden, and which was published in 1985, for which he was awarded the Commonwealth Poetry Prize for Asia. The Humble Administration Garden, and in this poetry collection he discussed about the various kind of the trees and their beauty and the various beauty presents in the administration garden. And there are three kind of trees in the garden. As we also say that this book is divided into three sections, and each section deals with different kind of trees, and those trees symbolize different countries, like first is Wutong tree, second is the neem tree, and third is live oak tree. Um, the Wutong tree is symbolized by China, and the neem tree is referred to India, and the live oak tree is respectively refers to California. In the next book, All You All You Who Sleep Tonight was published in 1990, and The Summer Requiem, the books of poem, was published in 2015, and these are the also amongst his famous collection of poems. And in the another poem of Vikram Seth, the title as To a Fellow Traveler, he seems to anticipate the criticism that he may be facing, like in the world porous boundaries and the key difficult to hold on to an essentialized be in continuous flux. There is a longing for home in Seth, and although it is something that he has grown accustomed to and writes freely about it, and in home thoughts From the bay, he says, along the grimy margin bay, dissed by each high-octane breath, and also, and tired of work and bored to death, and sick for home, decide I ought. This world is there for us to share, as said in his poem, A Morning Walk, and he does not see himself as one tied down by stereotypical definition. He belongs to everywhere and everyone, and further illustrated his point in his poem, Panipat, where he writes that merely the sweet taste of mango makes him feel at home. And here comes the another poem of Vikram Seth, and the poem's title is Dubious. In this poem, his reticence regarding his sexuality it is not because of his unwillingness to come out, but rather his refusal to belong to any set notion of sexuality and being defined by it. And in guest poem, Seth's poem of love carry within them an unmistakable tinge of longing and separation, and maybe the fact of homosexuality in India was a criminal offense when most of their were written has something to do with it, along with the realization that it is looked upon as an aberration and an abnormality by many in India. And most of his poem are really basis on his own life, as it is said that Vikram Seth is also belongs to the LGBT community, and one of his friend has left him, so he was in a kind of grief, so that he wrote many kind of poetry based on it. And he also did criticize this ideology of the Indian society about the homosexuality and the same-sex love, and he also promoted the thought of this. And he has also traveled as many countries like US and Britain, and there was not this kind of stereotypical society and thinking about the whole same-sex love, so he criticized the Indian kind of things. And it is also said that that Hmm, Vikram Seth has also belonged to the metaphysical kind of poetry. Like in UK, he stayed in George Herbert's house, and his George Herbert belongs to the metaphysical poetry, and his house was kind of unfurnished and need to be renovated. So he renovated his house and he stayed there for a while, not for a while, for many years, and he was very much inspired by nature and various places, and he also visit various places, and he visited, and he has also written various metaphysical poetry. So we may also say that Vikram Seth belongs to the metaphysical poetry of English literature. And in the next poem of Vikram Seth, named as Round and Round, depicts the poet's belong for his beloved, who was probably separated from his in the past, and the sweet memories of his relationship with her are spoiled by the hulabaloo of the children on the flight. And the poet has also ironically remarked on the modern lifestyle, which is characterized by lack and affection in society. And he has artistically employed a few images in the poem in satiric vein with the flavor of humors. And in the next collection of poem of Vikram Seth is that All You Who Sleep Tonight is a collection of poem written by Vikram Seth, and which was written in the year of 1990. And the poem by Vikram Seth are often considered as a reference to how to write poetry. And Flash is modeled on Herbert's poem, George Herbert's poem, Virtue, in which various image of mortality, the day whose fall, and the dew shall weep tonight. And his works are based on and address different locations, and to understand his true identity one needs to have a look at his life and life's history and get an idea of the context about the mobility. And on the Golden Gate is a pure California, a suitable boy is North Indian, and equal music is British. And And here comes Vikram Seth's first novel, and the name of the novel is The Golden Gate, and this novel is published in the year 1986, and it is the first novel by the poet Vikram Seth and novelist. The work is a novel in verse composed in 590 Ongin stanzas. Eugene Origin, we may also say that, and this novel is written in the verse form, as basically we know that novel are in the prose section, prose kind of in written in prose, and this novel of Vikram Seth is basically written in verse, like a novella or a novel written in the structure of poetry. And in poetry, the framing of the verse is in sonnet. So, this novel in verse gained state lavish praise and widespread recognition for his ability to deal in captivating fashion with modern subject in a traditional verse form. This novel depicts the life of some San Francisco Bay Area's yuppies in 590 tetrameter sonnets. And here comes an important question about the framing of the novel, like in which meter this novel is written. So this novel is written in a verse form in a tetrameter sonnet. And the author's capsule biography, the acknowledgements, and the dedication and the contents are all in sonnet form. This stanza, sometimes called the Pushkin sonnets, and has demanding rhyming scheme. And the rhyming scheme I have written is like in small letters and in the capital letters. So this is not written wrong. This is accurately right. Like small a, capital V, small a, capital B, and small double C, capital D, E, capital F, E, capital G, where the lowercase letters indicates the feminine rhymes, and the State was inspired to adopt this form after reading Charles Johnston's praised translation of Alexander Pushkin's Eugene Onegin. Like this novel has written by Vikram Seth, and this novel contain its framing and the context by the novel of Pushkin's Eugene, the translation of Alexander Pushkin's novel Eugene Onegin, right? And the next novel is A Suitable Boy. This publication of A Suitable Boy is 1349 pages novel and propelled Seth into the limelight. It was adapted into a BBC, sorry, correct here is it's BBC television drama ministries in 2020, and the novel has a series on the Netflix, and you can also watch the stories of the novel with there. The epigraph has two lines by Voltaire among them. The secret of being a bore is to say everything. Vikram said Suitable Boy as a post-colonial novel narratives of a making of India as a nation and its varied ramification at a socio-political realms, despite being the story of a mother inspiration to find a suitable husband for her daughter Besset's narratives of the making of a nation, the post-independent India. The novel is the example of good tradition of arranged marriage in India. An Indian marriage ceremony is institution of rituals, custom, religious practices. In India, social and society marriages are not merely means the meeting of two persons. Mrs. Mehra is in search of a suitable boy for Lata. Dipankar as spiritual base. Mr. Mahesh Kapoor is in search of a political base, and the Nawab is in search of a feudal stability. And the second novel, An Equal Music, deals with the troubled life of a violinist. An Equal Music is published in year 1999, and this is a music novel and centered on ill-fated love affair. The story is about a Michael Holm, the self-tortured protagonist. Michael is sensitive and emotional character of the novel. He is permanently is mourning for his life for Julia, a woman he deserved in Vienna, city of Wayne, 10 years ago. Michael's story gradually as he goes about his daily routines of teaching. And the next novel is Seth's work Two Lives, published in the year 2005, is a memoir of the marriage of his great uncle and aunt. Two Lives focuses on the love story between Seth's uncle Shanti Behari Seth and his German Jewish great auntie Hennerly Greta Caro. They are better known as Seths as Uncle Shanti and Auntie Henny. The book is divided into five separate parts, each part following a different period of the family's history, including our personal anecdote from family, interviews, letter between the couple, and photographs to better illustrate where events take places. And he has also written a travel book, From Heaven Lake Travel Through Xinjiang and Tibet, and it was published in the year 1983, an account of a journey through Tibet, China, and Nepal. He was also commissioned by the English National Opera to write a libretto based on the Greek legend of Arion and the Dolphin. The opera was performed for the first time in June 1994, and it is a travelogue which won him Thomas Cook Travel Book Award. And here comes a sequel to A Suitable Boy, and the sequel is A Suitable Girl, which was announced in year 2009. And Seth has said that the book will be a set in the present rather than in year 1952 when A Suitable Boy finished, and there will therefore be what Seth call a jump sequel. Seth has written other works in poetry, including Mapping in the year 1980, The Humble Administrator Garden in the year 1985, All You Who Sleep Tonight in the year 1990, and Three Chinese Poets in 1992. His children's book, Beastly Tales from Here to There, in year 1992, and consists of 10 stories about animals. And here comes the list of Seth's novel and poetry, or we may say that Seth's work. First is The Golden Gate in the year 1986. I'll not repeat the publishing year, you can check it out here. I'll just repeat the name. The Golden Gate, A Suitable Boy, and Equal Music and Poetries are Mappings, The Tale of Melon City, The Humble Administrator's Garden, All You Who Sleep Tonight, Beastly Tales, Three Chinese Poets, The Frogs and the Nightingale, and The Summer Requiem, a book of poems, a doctor's journal entry for August 6, 1945, Elephants and the Tragopan, sorry. And he has also written some children's fiction like Arian and the Dolphin, The Mouse and the Mosquito. Correct it here, it's mouse. And here are some literary awards and honors. No, there are not some, there are many. And just check it out here, I'll read for you. In year 1983, Thomas Cook Travel Book Award for From Heaven Lake Travel Through Xinjiang and Tibet. In year 1985, Commonwealth Poetry Prize not Asia, is Asia, for The Humble Administrator's Garden, and in the year 1988, Sahitya Academy Award for The Golden Gate. In the year 1993, Irish Time International Fiction Prize shortlisted. He was just shortlisted for this award for A Suitable Boy. In the year 1994, W. H. Smith Literary Award for A Suitable Boy. In the year 1999, Crossword Book Award for An Equal Music. In the year 2001, Order of the British Empire Commander. And in the year 2005, he got Pravasi Bharatiya Samman. In the year 2007, Padma Shri in Literature and Education. And he was about him. He was a social activism as said support for various causes including LGBTQ and rights and AIDS awareness like that. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching my video. If you like the video, subscribe my channel, like, share and subscribe the video. And if you want something me to discuss about any other poets, tell me in the comment section. Thank you.